Let's do the chanting straight away. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatayampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I've vowed to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I've vowed to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I've vowed to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I've vowed to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam gati gati parasam gati buddhi soha. Tayatam gati parasam gati buddhi soha. Tayatam gati parasam gati buddhi soha. So let's do some meditation now. Initially to release the tension in the body. To get comfortable and bring your mind inside your body. Your focus inside the body. Starting at the bottom, working our way to the top. So release whatever tension you may have in your feet, your toes, toe bones, the bottom of the feet, the balls, the arches, the heels, and around your ankles and Achilles tendons. And your lower legs, calf muscles, shin areas, and all around your knees and upper leg, the quad muscles and the hamstring muscles, around your midsection, around your hips and hip flexors, glutes and groin, your lower abdomen, just up your sides a little, your lower back. Further up your abdomen, up your sides and to the center of your back. And all around your chest and under your arms and your upper back, lateral muscles, rhomboid muscles, upper trap muscles, your neck to your shoulders, biceps and triceps and elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers and thumbs. And then from all around your neck, in the back of your head, sides of your head, around your ears and temples. And release the tension from all around your face. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw or frowning. And finally, the crown of your head. Now briefly scan your body again to see if there's any leftover tension that you can release. And when you are ready, bring your focus initially to the tip of your nose and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs and then back out your nose again. So breathing in and breathing out. If thoughts arise or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it or try to force it away or deny it. But simply and naturally let it go as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, then go back to 1 at that time. This is to help you keep focused on the feeling of the breath. So let's practice like this for a short while in silence. And then we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Maybe you can also bring to mind that forgiveness is very important in letting go of the mental baggage. So you yourself can forgive any people or any being if they have harmed you in the past. Just forgive, let go. And you can ask forgiveness from the living beings that you have harmed in the past. Of course, they accept this. You also forgive yourself for anything you feel you should have done that you didn't do, or that you did do that you shouldn't have done. I think I got that right. So forgiveness is very important, and it's part of loving kindness. It comes under the umbrella of loving kindness. So fill yourself with the white light, representing universal loving kindness. Really feel your body is very light and gentle, mind light and gentle. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows, radiates outwards, the white light, radiating from your heart center, initially to your loved ones in front of you, and entering their heart centers, and filling their whole being with the white light too. It also now includes strangers, and do likewise. And even enemies, and do likewise. Wishing that these three different types of people from your own perspective have happiness and its causes, be free from suffering and its causes, and that they are peaceful. So now we can start to radiate this loving kindness out further and further, distance-wise, starting around your immediate area to all living beings now. All the living beings that live on the land, in the waters, fly through the air, born from wombs or eggs or moisture or through transformation. All living beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. You can bring to mind the living beings that you're aware of, say around in your garden or something like that, or around your area. And just like with the people, you can first think of those beings that you have an affinity towards, and those beings that you don't really think about unless you actually do see them, and also those ones you may fear or don't like for whatever reason. Extend this loving kindness to them all. And now throughout your whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout your country. And all of the countries throughout the world. Those you have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those that for whatever reason you may have some negative feelings about. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans and all of the bodies of water, and down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And throughout the whole solar system too. And the galaxy. And the universe and beyond. Until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. And now we will switch techniques and for a short period do the Tonglen meditation. Giving, taking meditation to develop more and more compassion. So you can visualize or just imagine, if you like, living beings, all the different types of living beings in front of you. And when you exhale, breathe out, the white light comes from your heart center and enters into the heart centers of all sentient beings, making them happy, giving them the causes for enlightenment, all of your merits. So giving away everything you find it pleasing, all of your goodness, etc. Making them happy, helping them have the conditions on the path to enlightenment that we need or they need. And freeing ourselves from attachment and aversion. And as you breathe in, black smoke leaves their heart centers, representing all of their sufferings, mental afflictions, and so on, and enters into your heart center and melts away your ego and self-centeredness. So let's do the inhaling and exhaling technique of Tonglen. Breathing out, white light, breathing in, black smoke. We do this for a little bit. So now we can do the dedication prayer. Dear use this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And so we'll continue the commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice. Of course, we've actually really finished the commentary, and now we just have a little bit of concluding to do. Conclusions. Maybe we have 2, 3, maybe even 4 of them. Depends on how quickly we go through them. And also, like I mentioned last week, I want to have you practice the 3 wisdom tools. I'm not going to give too much commentary because I don't want to repeat myself. And for the last 5 or so months, we've had detailed commentary. And so you can review those classes on the YouTube channel. And whichever class, as you probably know, with each video, I put some details. And part of those details is what we covered, what subjects were covered at that time or during that class. So you can check these, okay? And then pick which one you want to review. Anyway, but we will do this conclusion. We'll go through each one and maybe a bunch of them, and then I'll get you to, from hearing, then you could use contemplate and then absorb your mind with it. Okay, just follow the instruction as we do this. So first of all, we're going to hear the whole thing without any commentary whatsoever. Advice from the great master Atisha. Until you attain enlightenment, the spiritual teacher is indispensable. Therefore, rely upon the holy spiritual guide. Until you realize ultimate truth, listening is indispensable. Therefore, listen to the instructions of the spiritual guide. Since you cannot become a Buddha merely by understanding Dharma, practice earnestly with understanding. Avoid places that disturb your mind and always remain where your virtues increase. Until you attain stable realizations, worldly amusements are harmful. Therefore, abide in a place where there are no such distractions. Avoid friends who cause you to increase delusions, and rely upon those who increase your virtue. This you should take to heart. Since there is never a time when worldly activities come to an end, limit your activities. Dedicate your virtues throughout the day and night, and always watch your mind. Because you have received advice, whenever you are not meditating, always practice in accordance with what your spiritual guide says. If you practice with great devotion, results will arise immediately, without your having to wait for a long time. If from your heart you practice in accordance with Dharma, both food and resources will come naturally to hand. Friends, the things you desire give no more satisfaction than drinking seawater. Therefore, practice contentment. Avoid all haughty, conceited, proud, and arrogant minds, and remain peaceful and subdued. Avoid activities that are said to be meritorious, but which, in fact, are obstacles to the Dharma. Profit and respect are nooses of the Maras, so brush them aside like stones on the path. Words of praise and fame serve only to beguile us. Therefore, blow them away as you would blow your nose. Since the happiness, pleasure, and friends you gather in this life last only for a moment, put them all behind you. Since future lives last for a very long time, gather up riches to provide for the future. You will have to depart, leaving everything behind. So do not be attached to anything. Generate compassion for lowly beings, and especially avoid despising or humiliating them. Have no hatred for enemies, and no attachment for friends. Do not be jealous of others' good qualities, but out of admiration adopt them yourself. Do not look for faults in others, but look for faults in yourself, and purge them like bad blood. Do not contemplate your own good qualities, but contemplate the good qualities of others, and respect everyone as a servant would. See all living beings as your father or mother, and love them as if you were their child. Always keep a smiling face and a loving mind, and speak truthfully without malice. If you talk too much, with little meaning, you will make mistakes. Therefore, speak in moderation, only when necessary. If you engage in many meaningless activities, your virtuous activities will degenerate. Therefore, stop activities that are not spiritual. It is completely meaningless to put effort into activities that have no essence. If the things you desire do not come, it is due to the karma created long ago. Therefore, keep a happy and relaxed mind. Beware, offending a holy being is worse than dying. Therefore, be honest and straightforward. Since all the happiness and suffering of this life arise from previous actions, do not blame others. All happiness comes from the blessings of your spiritual guide. Therefore, always repay his kindness. Since you cannot tame the minds of others until you have tamed your own, begin by taming your own mind. Since you will definitely have to depart without the wealth you have accumulated, do not accumulate negativity for the sake of wealth. Distracting enjoyments have no essence. Therefore, sincerely practice giving. Always keep pure moral discipline, for it leads to beauty in this life and happiness hereafter. Since hatred is rife in these impure times, don the armor of patience, free from anger. You remain in samsara through the power of laziness, therefore ignite the fire of the effort of application. Since this human life is wasted by indulging in distractions, now is the time to practice concentration. Being under the influence of wrong views, you do not realize the ultimate nature of things. Therefore, investigate correct meanings. Friends, there is no happiness in this swamp of samsara, so move to the firm ground of liberation. Meditate according to the advice of your spiritual guide and dry up the river of samsaric suffering. You should consider this well, because it is not just words from the mouth, but sincere advice from the heart. If you practice like this, you will delight me, and you will bring happiness to yourself and others. I, who am ignorant, request you to do this advice or take this advice to heart. This is the advice that the holy being, Venerable Atisha, gave to Venerable Zhangzhou. Okay, so didn't take too long, I guess. Now we can, once again, you just heard, okay? Yeah, you're not going to remember the 47 lines from this point. So we'll hear a few of them, and then you will contemplate them. I'll try to bunch them. They're all related, of course, but to bunch them into ones that are very closely related. So wisdom of hearing, you can do so with your eyes open, but don't be distracted by visual things, or with your eyes closed, but don't fall asleep. Until you attain enlightenment, the spiritual teacher is indispensable. Therefore, rely upon the holy spiritual guide. So, of course, until we reach enlightenment, we need teachers. Whether it's one teacher, a few teachers. Just like if you want to learn mathematics, you need a math teacher. You want to learn how to cook, you need a cooking teacher. Teacher is indispensable. Until you realize ultimate truth, listening is indispensable, as we're doing now. Therefore, listen to the instructions of the spiritual guide. Since you cannot become a Buddha merely by understanding Dharma, practice earnestly with understanding. So not just reading the Dharma and even coming to some really good understanding. It's not just that, you must practice. You must put these teachings into practice. Avoid places that disturb your mind and always remain where your virtues increase. Practice of the Dharma, put simply, is putting down your mental afflictions, decreasing them, eventually eradicating them, increasing your enlightened qualities, eventually perfecting them. Until you attain stable realizations, worldly amusements are harmful. Therefore, abide in a place where there are no such distractions. Now, of course, it's up to you whether you're distracted or not. But if you are around things that you are habitually distracted around, then maybe change your position or discard those things, if possible. Avoid friends who cause you to increase delusions and rely upon those who increase your virtue. This you should take to heart. So, put simply, we should be around, whether it's in person, on the computer, or receiving teachings by video or whatever, okay, with people that are virtuous. Hopefully they are more wise and more compassionate than you, so you can learn from them. But at very least, you should avoid being with people that are bad behavior, ignorant people, for they can influence you right now in a negative way. Even though it's you that's being influenced, you can't blame them. We ourselves should avoid being around non-virtuous people unless we are ready to be around non-virtuous people. Help. Breathe in. So now contemplate Whatever it is that you remember from just now. With the understanding that you have created or realized. Absorb your mind with this understanding. Even if you just pick one point, absorb your mind with this one point. Even if it's an abstract idea of what it was that you just heard and then contemplated. Even if it's as simple as what to abandon and what to pick up, adopt. So absorbing your mind. And now we'll go back to the wisdom of hearing again. Since there is never a time when worldly activities come to an end, limit your activities. So don't be involved in too much, worldly activities. Just trying to busy your life, most of the world is about consumerism, isn't it? Consuming yourself with things, but also buying stuff, wanting stuff, not wanting stuff. So what I mean by consumerism is, to do with the economy and things like that, but also just activities. May what you do and do engage in bring benefit and not harm, and also not be meaningless. Dedicate your virtues throughout the day and night, and always watch your mind. Dedicate your virtues towards enlightenment, and also for the happiness and freedom from suffering of all living beings, and may all sentient beings attain enlightenment eventually, in due course. So dedicate your virtues this way. As you dedicate, they increase, multiply. And the more you dedicate without attachment, the more they increase and multiply and can become immeasurable. Because you have received advice, whenever you are not meditating, always practice in accordance with what your spiritual guide says. If you practice with great devotion, results will arise immediately without you having to wait for a long time. So devotion, trust, confidence, faith are very important. If from your heart you practice in accordance with the Dharma, both food and resources will come naturally to hand. You won't have to worry about anything. Just practice. Friends, the things you desire give no more satisfaction than drinking seawater. Therefore, practice contentment. We can never find satisfaction in worldly things, even if for a short time we feel satisfied. So we'll leave it there. Now you can contemplate on what it is you just heard. And when you come to some understanding, now absorb your mind with this understanding. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, but also don't be lazy. It'll pass. So absorbing your mind. And now you can let go of that. And you can continue doing this after class, because we just went under 1 minute. Hopefully you're enjoying, once again, doing this, putting these 3 wisdom tools into practice. I think it's really helpful, especially that you've had more than 5 months of commentary on these teachings already. And I'm sure that there's many things that you can recall quite easily from the commentary that I've given you. And so it's very good. This is just like a reminder in a way, you know. So I rejoice in your meritorious goodness as always. And I hope you've enjoyed today's class and that you have a lovely day ahead or evening ahead, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. Look after your mind, look after your body, and don't let things get on top of you, you know.